everyone, and a huge welcome. We are really excited that so many of you have joined our webinar this morning, and great to see the interest in our release. We have a fantastic agenda for you. First of all, let me just do a little bit of housekeeping. The webinar is being recorded, so don't worry if you want to review it or share it, it will be sent out to you afterwards. We also have a Q&A planned at the end of the webinar, so please get in the chat here, add your questions, and we'll come to them at the end of the webinar. Officially, we have planned to have 5 minutes for the Q&A, but our product experts, Jetro and Marco, have blocked more time for you until 11 a.m. So no worries, we will try to answer all of your questions. Feel free to ask your questions in English and German as well. We are constantly looking to improve ourselves in all areas. That's why we will send you a survey about this webinar afterwards. If we could ask you to take a moment of your time to provide us your feedback, that would be really helpful for us, because your feedback matters. And then let's get it started. The webinar is hosted today by Jetro, our Chief Product and Technology Officer, and Marco, our Director of Product. Both will guide us through the 3 new features today. And I'm Tanya, working in Lobster's marketing team, and you will see me again at the end of the webinar. I'll moderate the Q&A session. And now I'm happy to hand over to Jetro.
Thank you very much, Tanya, and I'm super excited to see how many of you show up to learn more about our release. Before we do that, I would like to start with the bigger picture. Because as many of you are aware of, that earlier this year, we've merged our 2 former products, Lobster Data and Lobster Pro, into one unified data platform. The goal of this platform is to help you to solve all of your data integration challenges, even in cases where human interaction is needed, such as you need to maybe manually validate some incoming data, or when a data flow is not fully automatable. The integration layer of our platform provides you with the core connectivity to any system, any protocol, any data type. And the orchestration layer helps you to transform simple connections into intelligent and adaptable business processes, providing you with flexibility. Finally, all of this is supported by our generic platform services, such as authentication and authorization capabilities, Pathfinder, our AI co-pilot, which we will share and show with you today. We're very excited to launch that actually today. And also Lobster Bridge and our flexible deployment options. Finally, this is all supported by our ecosystem of partners as well as our digital academy. Now, this is where we left things off when we launched 25.0, the main version of our data platform, during our Data Hero Summit earlier this year. And right now we're super excited because we will show you what we've been releasing yesterday when we released 25.1. Like I said, it was released yesterday, and it's our long-term supported version, meaning this version will get security patches and bug fixes for the next 12 months. At the same time, we are actively monitoring the usage of our data platform, and we can see rapid adoption. This is great because it means every innovation we do is become available for all of our customers who use our data platform. And this is also where we invest our resources when it comes to innovation and new capabilities. Currently, we are maintaining 2 code bases, historic Lobster Data and Pro on the one end. On the other side, we have our data platform. Of course, this is a significant investment. However, we will keep providing you with patches, so bug fixes, security fixes for both Data and Pro throughout 2026 as well. But all our main innovation and new capabilities will exclusively go into the data platform. Now, for today, we are very excited to show you a couple of our highlights. The first one is Pathfinder, our AI co-pilot, which helps you to be more effective and efficient in using the data platform. Secondly, it's Lobster MCP, helping you to connect your legacy or your core systems into this new AI-driven world in which we live. Thirdly, it's our CAP connectivity module. And finally, we will talk about how we help you to collaborate with your business partners in the context of Web EDI. Now, let me hand it over to Marco, my colleague, to show you more about Pathfinder.
Yeah, thank you, Jethro, for the quick introduction. I'm really happy I think the slide is not shared anymore. Oh yeah, thank you. Now I'm back. Really happy to introduce our Pathfinder feature. As Jethro mentioned already, Pathfinder is the first deep integrated AI co-pilot into our platform. And in the first version we launched yesterday, we really help you to work closer with the platform and use AI as a real assistance for guide you through the platform. So we heavily invest into helping you interpret our log files and our error logs, find the right function with the help of you use for your mapping in phase 3 with the help of Pathfinder, and also create documentations of your function chains you have created. And I think the best way to showcase to you is on a real demo. So let me share my screen and show you that exactly how that works. So we are now on 25.1. So that's our newest release. And as you can see, you have the typical errors and the typical stack trace in your error log as you know it maybe from the past. So every time you run into an error, you can see this really technical descriptions here of what happens, but it's partly really hard to understand what really happens here and how to fix it. And for that, we now have this explain the error button here based on our Copilot Pathfinder capabilities. And if you hit the button, you can see it will make his magic behind and really try to interpret the error and give you a clear and human readable analysis out about this, but also a potential solution. So Pathfinder interpreted the whole complicated stack trace, what you can see here, and really give you some instructions how to fix it. That should help you really to find and fix bugs or fix errors in your system really easy, and act as your assistant instead of invest hours into interpret the error messages here. So you even can look on it side by side. You can see, okay, that's the original stack trace, and that's the interpretation of Copilot. And you also, and that you really can evaluate the response to help us to increase the quality of our answers here as well. So if this is the right answer and it helps you to fix your bug, please just thumbs up and help us to improve the quality of our Copilot. You also can see which kind of error logs you already have interpreted with Copilot and with Pathfinder and which one not, because of this icon here on the side. Okay, in addition to that, now you have the good error explanations, and maybe you interpreted, I have to change something in the functions I use in phase 3. You know, maybe also from the past, you have all your functions here searchable. So you can easily say, okay, I need something to equal some values here. So you can use an equal function, or you can search for equal as a term. But now, in addition to that, instead of just giving you back anything who starts and ends with equal, we also able, thanks to Copilot, to Pathfinder, our Copilot system, to interpret your question and give you also other results back where maybe help you to make your mapping or make your phase 3 mapping here ready. In addition to that, all the Copilot or all the Pathfinder functions we really give you back. We also give you a description what this function really did, how that can help you, how you can use that. So that should also help you to speed up your mapping and your phase 3 effort. And last but not least, we also optimize our documentation capabilities. So now I think you can see if you create a function chain and you have them combined, you easily can use or leverage Pathfinder to generate your functions or your function description here and let them explain exactly what happened in your function chain and what happens here in general. How does that sound, Jethro?
Oh, that sounds super cool, Marco. I'm quite excited that we were able to launch this feature. I think it's a key thing to help our customers be more effective.
Exactly. So then let me take the control back. Thank you. And I think the screen is gone. Could you share the slide skill? Oh yeah, thank you. And let me talk about our other AI investment or other AI initiatives. So really happy to introduce that we, from now on in 25.1, support the Model Context Protocol. So the Model Context Protocol, originally introduced by Anthropic, one of the biggest LLMs out of the world, so the large language models, is a standardized way to add information to a context of an AI. And that's really crucial if you have a lot of your data or information in data silos in your legacy systems, for instance, or in your ERP systems, whatever, right? Because the LLM is not trained on your data. So the LLM can never really answer your questions based on your data. Here, MCP comes into play because MCP is really a structured way, a protocol to help you to inject data into any context of any LLM you use. So it might be that you have own chatbot in your company based on ChatGPT as a model to run this chatbot. Now with MCP, you are able to really feed into data from your ERP system or any other legacy system to answer questions people have in your chatbot. That could be one of the use cases. Another use case could be that you offer some kind of that information to your customer base. So the customer is really able to interact with your warehouse management system just in human language. So they can ask questions and they get answers back from an LLM. So to underline that, you will not train any model of the big players with your data. You just have a standardized way to provide that information and that time if you need it. And that helps you a lot, especially if you're thinking about AI projects, to enable your organization use your data, but not risking to share the data with any of the big players on the AI world. And I think, again, here we have another nice demo. This time we have a nice video for you. So in the video, we use an MCP client because to communicate with our MCP server, you have to use an MCP client. In our demo, we use the MCP client from Anthropic just to really showcase how that interacts together. You can use any kind of MCP client here, whatever you want. And you can also use any kind of model you want, right? So it's bring your own LLM here in that case. But just let me switch to the demo part, and I think the video explains itself.
The client is now using the tools provided by our MCP server setup, which exposes endpoints to retrieve data. First, it checks the customer ID. Then, it retrieves the customer's orders. There's an issue with one of the orders. It's only partially confirmed, and the system now asks us, would you like to get more detailed information about any specific order? So, let's ask, why isn't this order confirmed? Next, another endpoint is called to fetch details from the EP system. There are already some alternatives available by pulling data from other PIM endpoints. Maybe we should ask which article performed best last year. Which one was the bestseller last year? As we can see, the data warehouse endpoint is being queried several times for the different alternatives. And the winner is this article. So, perhaps we should follow up on this suggestion and ask Cloud to replace the unavailable position with the bestseller. First, the position is set to cancelled and a new one is created. Since we provide a tool called Send Mail that runs after an order change, Cloud generates an HTML email and sends it to the customer to confirm the e-order update. If we look behind the scenes, you can see the MCP server setup with all the endpoints. Let's take a closer look at some of them. For example, this endpoint retrieves data from PIM, including possible alternatives, and therefore a profile is called. Let's jump into the profile, where we see a search is completed, and we can see the results are being passed back to us.
Okay. Yeah, that's a quick example of a typical use case, how you can imagine you can use MCP in your real life. For sure, there is a lot of other possibilities here, but how does it sound, Jetro? Do you have any use case in your mind you will immediately use?
Plenty. All right, of course, I already played with this behind the scenes. I'm quite excited because I think it helps many of our customers to leverage the connections they already have between our data platform into their core systems to now turn these core systems into AI-enabled resources by helping them to bring their own LLM, but don't have to do any other investment. You can just use the platform. So I think it's super cool.
So definitely. But this is not the only investment or innovation we showcase today, right? So there's another one. I think now I will hand over to you.
Yes, thank you very much. Let's continue indeed, because there's more for us to share with you today.
The client.
With the release that we're talking about here, you just saw some core investments we did in the heart of our platform, right? You saw Pathfinder, you saw our MCP server. But actually, with this release, we've also expanded our platform capabilities to also include supply chain collaboration features. Now, these features sit on top of our platform and they package our powerful platform capabilities into ready-to-use solutions for specific high-value use cases, drastically lowering your time to value. Now, this is an integrated approach, which allows you to move beyond just data integration into building a truly collaborative, intelligent, and resilient digital supply chain, because we all know that's super important nowadays. Now, the reason why we did this, I would love to share that with you, because what I learned from many of you when I visit our customers is that there are large heterogeneous landscapes inside our customers, meaning many of you have a TMS system, a WMS system, one or even multiple ERPs, and they're not connected. And that's only the data silos you have inside your four walls. But if you look one level higher and you go outside of your four walls and look along the supply chain, when you work with your trading partners, this problem is amplified because there are many use cases where you want to collaborate with your trading partners. And this is where we would really like to help you as well. So not only your internal application integration, but also how you collaborate with trading partners across the supply chain, helping you to improve your time to value and lower the cost per integration. We listened to you, spoke to many of you, and core things we see, or core needs we see that many customers have is integrating with CAP providers, but also collaborating with trading partners who don't have the ability to share automated data feeds. So let me share with you what we're going to do to help you in those for those use cases. To start with, let's look at our CAP or Courier Express parcel connectivity module. So many of you work with CAP providers to ship your goods, right? Or to receive goods. Now, the challenge is that every CAP provider has different integration requirements. This means you need to have costly integrations. If you integrate with DHL, for example, and you want to maybe switch to FedEx, you have to basically rebuild your integration, meaning there are high switching costs and less flexibility for you. Now, with our standard CAP connector, you only have to build one integration to our unified data model, and it allows you then to connect to multiple CAP providers, Right now, we support DHL, FedEx, and UPS, and based on customer feedback, we can expand this list for sure. This connectivity module allows for bi-directional communication. That means you can book shipments, receive tracking numbers, generate labels, or receive tracking information. What this does is to help you with faster onboarding on these cab providers and also lowering your maintenance cost, because you do not need to invest in creating these connections, and we will make sure they stay up to date by providing updates to this connector, basically. This means we are helping you to move beyond API integrations, really into integrating with multiple business partners. And to make a clear point, all of this runs in your own data platform. So this means you download the connector. I'll show you how in a minute. You download the connector, install it, and it just runs in your data platform. And your data platform, through our unified data model, which also is in your data platform, then connects directly into this cab provider. So let me show you what this looks like.
Many customers want integration with DHL, FedEx, or UPS to send the shipment, receive a tracking number, and receive a label. The challenge is that each of them have their own integration standards. Our CEP connector is a turnkey solution, making this integration a breeze. Customers can download the connector and import the package into the data platform. It will import some profiles, constants, and partner channels, and everything else you need to set up the integration. Now you can configure it whether you want to use this as a test environment or productive environment. Our CEP connector supports both. The partner channels are imported and configured initially. The connector comes with a set of template profiles. These templates are there to show you how to use the connector to, for example, send a transport order or receive an acknowledgement. If we now open up this particular profile, you'll see in this case it's a data routing profile. We can use it to manually load some dummy data for testing. In Phase 3, you see how it works. On the left-hand side, you can put your own data structure, and on the right-hand side, there is our CEP connector data model. This contains the headers and the shipments. You can map your own information into this model. As soon as you've done the mapping, it will work for all the different CEP providers that we support. The rest of the profile is already pre-configured for you to use directly. All you have to do now is configure the channels with their API credentials. In this case, we're doing for DHL Express. We have a testing ID that we put in here together with a password, and then once we have this, we can run it. A typical customer uses this connector to map their own data structure of our generic CEP data model, after which they can connect with DHL, FedEx, and UPS transparently. This also works the other way around when receiving, for example, a tracking number back. The only thing you have to do as a customer is download and import the connector, put in your API key, and map your data structure to the generic model. This is how easy it is to work with an integration platform which has supply chain capabilities.
So as you saw, it's super easy to connect to these cab providers. Downloading, installing, configuring the API key, and then all you need to do is map your own internal structure to the unified data model and just choose. You want to go to DHL, FedEx, or UPS. That's how easy it is by the connector we're now providing you with. Well, it doesn't stop there. Another thing I would like to share with you is our Web EDI template with a focus on helping you collaborate with business partners. Before we dive in though, let me quickly explain what we mean when we say template. So a template is a quick way for you to get started to solve a particular use case. We provide it to you for free of charge as part of our platform, and you can customize and extend it in any way you see fit. So you download it, you install, and basically you can then customize it, change it. It really becomes yours. So it's really a quick way to get started to solve common use cases. Now, the template we are talking about right now is in a context of collaborating with business partners who struggle with providing automated data flows, because we know there are many of them still out there today. For example, a supplier which cannot provide you with EDI documentation, documents, or with API connectivity. The result is that it's hard to collaborate with these partners. You'll end up in manual processes, low data quality, causing delays in your operational process. Now, with our template, you can convert these EDI transactions into simple web forms or into file uploads, meaning that your less technically advanced supplier, in this example, can basically just upload a file or fill in a form, and then you can have customizable validations built in our orchestration capabilities, which you can fully customize, and then that results to clean data. Clean data, which you can then automatically send into your ERP through a profile, for example. So you'll have manual input on the front end, customizable validation rules to clean up the data, and then you'll have automated integration capabilities to, for example, send data to your ERP system like you used to do every day. This allows you to process orders, update shipments, or maybe exchange other critical business data without manual work on your side. So it means you are fully automated while you still cater for the needs of less technically advanced training partners that you may have. And for me, this is a great example for you to get started with our orchestration capabilities and get that flexibility in your business processes that I mentioned at the beginning of this webinar. So let's have a look at how you actually do this.
Imagine we have suppliers who can't exchange information properly, resulting in a costly and error-prone manual process causing delays and low data quality. This process can be automated using our supplier portal template, in which suppliers fill out a form or upload a particular file, which is then validated, after which it can be further processed into an ERP system, resulting in clean data in an automated way, making supplier collaboration very easy. It starts with installing the template from the template gallery. After that, the template can be further customized and used. With this template, the supplier can log into the portal and they can see all the orders that are relevant for them. In this case, there is a purchase order for various items. I can create an order confirmation, and with the quick fill, I can copy over some information. As a user, I can manually override this information, so I can, for instance, change the quantity. And then some logic is triggered. In this case, it is a configurable business rule which says that you need to have a particular minimum quantity, providing early validation. These types of rules are fully customizable in the template. Once the user is happy, the order can be saved and released, after which it is sent to the ERP as an order confirmation. The next thing that the user can do is to have a group of purchase orders, which can be combined in an advanced shipment notice. The user selects which items will be shipped. Then there's a piece of logic that calculates based on the weight and the size, how many packages we have and how many pallets we need. So in this case, it determined 3 + 5 packages and in total 7 pallets. You can build your own business logic based on some basic master data tables. After filling in the label numbers, I can turn this into a shipment, add the tracking number, and then all this information will be sent to the ERP. We can look at the integration side to see what happened. The shipment was turned into an actual Edifact message. You can here also see the order message, which originated from the interaction on the supplier portal. As a user, you can edit the profile and change it to match your own integration needs. On the left-hand side, we have the order that we put on the screen in the portal. On the right-hand side, we have the Edifact message. That means that if you want to have a different format, because you want to use an SAP IDOC or REST API, you can simply change this in the template. The idea of the template is we help you get going to solve this use case.
So what you saw here is actually how we provide you with a web front end on top of an automated integration process. Now, this is a template you can customize, exchange, share it, or make it yours, right? Really extend it in any way you see fit, while still leveraging the automated integration capabilities that we also provide you with. So I think it's a great example to show what we mean when we say manual processes connected to automated integration flows. And this is also why we brought our products together into one unified data platform. Now, I think it's time to wrap things up. So let me summarize what you just saw. So you saw us showing you Pathfinder, our AI co-pilot with the first capabilities of explaining errors, searching for functions in a smarter way, and generating documentation. Secondly, you saw Lobster MCP, helping you to connect core systems such as an ERP or a PIM system to the AI-driven results that you want. Thirdly, you saw our CAP connectivity module. And finally, you saw how we can provide templates, such as in the context of Web API, to make it easier for you to collaborate with your business partner. But there's more. There are more features we are actually releasing. So first of all, the new version 25.1 will come with a profile creator. This is specifically geared towards new users and provides them with a guided way to create new profiles. Think of it like a wizard approach where you select input agents, etc., to make it easier to create your first profiles. Secondly, we've greatly enhanced our SFTP communication capabilities. We added session limits, multi-key authentication, disk quotas, post-upload rules, and some other things to become more flexible when it comes to our SFTP communication. We also now support the message pack format. This was asked by some of you to be able to be more efficient when it comes to bandwidth. You can use message pack both on the source as well as the target side of your integrations. We've improved our database configuration setup. So if you connect with external databases through our platform, we provide you with clearer labels, inline testing, super important. So you can right away test if your database configuration works, but also provide you with better error messages in case things go wrong during the setup. We've updated our UI and our features across other connection configurations. So think about the screens you use to configure Kafka, AMQP, MQTT, and TCP connections. Here we made sure that they look more the same and all have the same capabilities, really streamlining how you do this administration task. And finally, Lobster Bridge. So Lobster Bridge was already available for our public cloud customers to connect to their own on-premise systems. But what we now also did is we made sure that you can use Lobster Bridge when you use our platform on-prem or in your private cloud. That means that you can install a Lobster Bridge at the site of your trading partners and then connect to your trading partner from your own on-prem in a secure and safe way without the need of a VPN. So Lobster Bridge is now even more broadly applicable, if you will. Now, all of this is available since yesterday, so feel free to check it out. There's also a release blog on our website. So there you can read through the announcements in more detail. There are some more demo videos there. I very much invite you to go online, check out our website, and read more information. Then I would like to conclude with what is next. So while we are talking about this today, our engineering teams are already working on the innovations for our next release. Now that release is called 26.1 and it will be released mid-January. And I would like to give you a little bit of a sneak peek what we're working on. First of all, we will expand Pathfinder even further by, for example, generating SQL queries and also generating cron tab settings for you based on natural language input. Secondly, we are investing in a trading partner manager, which simplifies onboarding of trading partners with a standardized but flexible portal approach. This means that you can then share a portal with your customers or with your suppliers or your trading partners. They can provide their integration details, reducing manual work for you and speeding up time to integration. So it's really about, it starts with onboarding. And finally, we are investing in a multi-profile visualization because I heard from a lot of you the last couple of months that you have large, complex function profile change, and you want to see how they interact together. And that's quite a complicated task, so we want to make sure that you have a good overview of how profiles work together, helping you to reduce the errors and increase how easy it is to do maintenance. Now, these are just 3 examples of what we're working on. For sure, there's more behind the scenes, which we will very happily share with you in our next release webinar in January. As you can see, through our data platform, you have access to continuous innovation. We will provide you with new updates and new features quarter over quarter, and we would very much like you to be a part of it. That's why we have our roadmap portal on our website, and you can go there. You can upvote features, you can submit new ideas, you can leave feedback, and you can see what our teams are working on. So I very much invite you to go there, so you can all be part of shaping the future of data integration together with us.